From the mysterious world of Hyrule, Ganon has sent out a randomized force throughout the land. Two brave souls have opted to join us in their journey, is now being broadcast directly to the comfort of your home. As we say good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're in the world. Welcome to tonight's ALTTPR daily race here on Speed Gaming number 4. Today we have a mystery seed, and today we have Wellkix and Dataplet here in the booth in this race session out of a total of 6 runners. I'm Professor Render, joining me is Antisim. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Getting excited for this mystery seed. Looks like we already have Randomizer and early boots, which is really cool.
Yeah, this will be a fun one. So mystery seed is, we don't even know what the settings are. We gotta find it as we play through the game. It definitely gives a little bit of a extra twist to your typical ALTTPR experience. Yeah, and we should be underway pretty soon. The flag just dropped.
Yep, and the weights here today is our lovely restreamer saying is no entrance, no expert modes, and no random enemy or health damage. But it can be shuffled, so that's a little bit nicer than what can be. But we do get a start here, and both starting in Link's house, which is just 5 root.
And we've already seen, it's not inverted, so looks like it's going to be an open mode.
Yep, and it doesn't look like our enemies are shuffled just yet.
It could possibly be a boss shuffle. Oh,
Yeah.
Very nice bomb, very nice tier 1, that's bombs off the tree pole. No entrance, obviously, because this is the friendly mode, and it looks like, looks like it's random damage. And
okay, it's probably a little shuffled, so certain enemies can do a lot more damage than others.
yeah, and we do see some form of map, some sort of dungeon shuffle. We did find a map to Hyrule Castle, so we do have some sort of dungeon item shuffle in place here.
Yeah, either key sanity or map compass shuffle or small keys.
Now, if it was map compass shuffle by itself, then we wouldn't be having problems.
Key sanity would be a little bit more annoying.
Yeah, those full key sanity is a 20% chance, while map compass and map compass shuffle are 15% respectively. And some hearts from off of the bush crab.
Interesting. I never knew you could grab those bombs that the guards drop from above in the Hyrule Castle area.
And it looks like from our wonderful restreamer, might have me, it is shuffle damage. It isn't any random, it's not like full-on random damage, but the damage values are shuffled.
Yeah, so we could have Lionel's doing basically like 1 heart of damage while guards do 5 or 6.
Over in the Lost Woods, we find 300 rupees, and Dataplet opted to go for the bomb escape.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. A lot of runners, especially after seeing how much damage that guards do, may opt to leave it for later, and Dataplet might find something useful here. Alright, into Kakariko, probably one of the most item-heavy locations in the game. And in the Thieves' Hut today, we have our hook shot, piece of hearts, 10 arrows, and a compass of Misery Mire. Alright, I'll take that hook shot. And then in the back here, just 50 rupees. Meanwhile, Deadblood's coming up to one of the last checks in this area. In Zelda's cell. See what's in here. See if those bomb strats end up paying off, or whether they could have left this for later or never. And the flute sitting in the well. That's nice. Just
Yeah,
the
very
flute
nice.
there, but very useful.
For sure. It will. We got our boots anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we do a hook shot for like those small bursts of damage, small bursts of speed. But well, okay, let's go with the flute.
Oh, and our tracker bringing up something important. There wasn't a key notification from the ball and chain guard, so it's most likely not key sanity. So looks like probably just a map compass shuffle with maybe saw keys. And we do find ether, which we don't know if we'll need, but is a nice find.
Yeah, it's possible that we might need that ether medallion in case we need to go to, like Mire or Turtle Rock.
And we found a bow. So this Kakariko is pretty loaded. You got the hook shot, the bow, the flute, quite a few items. And
There's another map on top of library.
I might have picked that up, because if it's in a map, I mean, you're right here, you've got the boots, get some information.
Yeah, it's info, and there's another map. Volkex opting to not grab both of them though.
Yeah, race game I can see, because you gotta go back, bombing the wall open, but the other one, you're right there, so. Alright, outside the dam we have just 20 rupees. And Wall Kicks gets that hook clip the second time around. Saves a bit of time there.
Yeah, the hook clip is essentially when the block is being pushed, it's actually considered a sprite and not a tile at the time before it actually rests in its normal position. So during that one moment where the block is a sprite, you can hook shot over to the chest and you'll be able to clip into the block there.
Yeah, it's very interesting how that works. You can use the mirror as well to make it vanish with a similar trick. And welcome to Speed Gaming 1 with a raid of 188 people. We're daily randomizer race here. Got a mystery. So far all we know is that it's possibly a boss shuffle. And got early boots, as in boots already with us. And then, other than that, we know we have some type of map compass shuffle, maybe small keys. We don't know that part yet.
And we also do have shuffled enemy damage.
Ah, yes, that too. So we don't know how much damage each enemy will do to us. And Dataplet showing off some nice chest turns there.
Yeah, and chest turns are essentially you turn when at the same time you're opening up a chest. It saves a bit of time, but it's more so just for the show off. Doesn't really affect much, but it's there nonetheless. It's nice to do it nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a bit of swag.
Yeah. Wall Kick's heading over to Agina's cave.
I'm not. I guess the lack of money would do it, but he could have also done a fake flipper with the boots, or boots water walk to Zora area, done some of the flipper checks. But with the flute, it's not that hard to get back to that area.
Yeah, and the Gina's Cave only having a heart container. So if you're not if you're new to here and don't know what we're talking about when we say map compass or map compass small key shuffle or all that, it is possible to randomize the dungeon items that put the dungeon items in the pool, the main item pool that gets randomized, and you find the more important thing you'll want to find is maps. Those give you information about whether or not you have a pendant or a crystal at a particular dungeon. Other examples here, like talking to Sahasrara, which gives information about where the green pendant's at, in this case Tower of Hera, is also very helpful in case you still have to find the necessary speaking up the map for Tower of Hera.
Sitting right behind the answer.
Yeah, not to mention we got a fire rod as well.
It's a nice item. Doesn't really do too much. It is a fire source though, so take it.
Yeah, it's possible that we may end up with heading over with a map compass shuffle, given our current state. And
yeah. We know as much that it's not a big key shuffle because the earlier big key. So with that fire rod, if we have an early big key, we might have swordless.
Oh, this is pretty rare. Swordless mode is essentially what it says in the tin. It's you don't have a sword. Now, it's possible. Now, given the fact that we don't have expert mode, it could also be a mail. It could be potentially a mail upgrade if we find a sword elsewhere. There's the Moon Pearl, by the way, over on the map chest.
Yeah, that 20 rupee drop. There's something missing in the pool, in the prize pool, in the pool. That's for sure.
Yeah. With a boot start, there is actually a chest that has nothing in there, and that's where the boots are supposed to be. If you did not take out the boots and give it to the player at the start of the game. Now, okay, so we can finish this dungeon in logic
if we have advanced item placement, which is a 66% chance if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's a 67% chance and a 33% chance for it being basic.
Okay.
Okay, so it's gonna do a pretty simple sequence break, and that is this first dark room that leads over to the big key chest.
Yep. And a sword would make this a lot easier, but a lot of owners have practiced enough where they don't quite need it. But with shuffled enemy damage, it could be a little bit more dangerous.
To answer a question in the chat, the way you can tell if it's swordless or a higher difficulty, that is not expert, by the way, is if you find 20 single rupees. That means that you either have a higher difficulty, or it's also swordless. Now, it will confirm that it's swordless if we find out that we do find a mail upgrade.
But it could also be those boots that were given to us at the very beginning, so we don't 100% know just yet.
No, it would have to be the boots would just be a empty chest. It's not.
Okay.
It's not 20 single rupees. But we did find the gloves from Dataplat doing a fake flipper. He actually did a water walk, so that we can get over to that chest. And heading over to the Zora area, nothing of note in Zora Ledge. And just the shield, so meh. Now, one thing to note as well, because this is a dungeon item shuffle, you can't go off the music alone. While wall kicks, you might be thinking, oh, this is a pendant. We can't go off the music because the music is also shuffled. So you can probably hear Ganon's tower being, oh, these are most taken a level punch. So it looks like, given that it's vanilla, these are all normal bosses. I'm assuming the Randomizer is supposed to be a damage shuffle. And looks like we did draw first blood here from wall kicks at 1426, because that is a crystal. And that pretty much reinforces my points there. You can't go off the music alone. While you may think, oh yeah, it's a pendant. Actually, it's not, because it could possibly be a crystal. And vice versa. You might be thinking, oh, you may hear the crystal music, and oh wait, it's a crystal. Nope, it could be a pendant too.
Yep. It makes it a lot more interesting that way. So then you don't, even if you don't have the map, you still can't tell, type of thing. Alright, so looks like Wall Kicks is going to head up the mountain here, and Dataplet's going to head over to the eastern area.
Also, to fill in, Jay Coper, one of our chat members, we do not have expert enabled, so it's possible that it could either be male hearts or pieces of heart that could be potentially a hard difficulty or not. And it looks like from Wall Kicks' side, if what the Eastern Palace would turn out to be a 5/6 crystal. And there's also one of our chat members pointing out as well that because of the fire shield that we picked up from that Dataplet picked up, this would not wouldn't mean that it would be no swords or shields. So because
I just looked up on I remember I looked up on the website, the Randomizer website, and Fire Shield is the highest you can get in hard mode. So it is still possible that we have a hard seed here. But Expert is confirmed gone.
Yeah, because I mean, it was from the start of the game because we are using friendly weights. So
Yep,
there's that 20 single rupees from Dataplet. So if we find a male upgrade here, that confirms that it's going to be a swordless mode. If not, then a sword. We did find a hammer though, so if it is swordless, then that's our necessary material for if we were ever to check the Bombos tablet, or pretty much just do anything with medallions.
Well, actually, no. In swordless, if you have to use the medallion, you can use it even if, as long as there's that little patch on the ground. You don't have to have a hammer for that, is what I've been told.
So there's the in-logic gloves from Wall Kicks. So Dataplet's gloves are actually the mitts in this regard. And with that, that's also Dark World access.
Yeah, so we have found mitts, we've found hammer. This seed's been pretty nice so far.
And the reason why Dataplet had chosen to read the hint tile is if whether or not hints are enabled or not. There's a 50-50 chance that hints can be enabled, and there's the boots location.
Yep, just an empty item with a shadow. The other way we can tell if it's swordless or not is when they go to Skull Woods, which they probably will go as soon as possible because they already have that fire rod. If the vines are pre-cut, we'll also know that.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Wall Kicks, after he does some of this hair play, heads over to the Skull Woods or something similar to figure out whether or not this is a Starless mode or not. Volkix opting to go for the Hero Pot strat. Lets you clip into this pot enough for you to hook shot into it, and as soon as you drop down and hit the warp tile, it takes you to the top of Tower of Hera.
Yep, and we'll also find out now if we have a small key shuffle, if we find a small key.
And we did find a normal compass inside the Tower of Hera, as well as the Skullwoods map. Now we could tell that it was the dungeon's compass when the actual the item counts actually showed up on the screen at the time of picking it up.
Oh, and look at those eyes on Moldorm.
That's 3 eyes. And that's something that the randomizers can do, is that it gives Moldorm more eyes or less eyes than the normal 2.
And with a couple quick hammers, Wallcakes has this down. And there is a small key in this dungeon, so that does mean that we are just a map compass shuffle and not a map compass small key shuffle today.
Which is honestly, I think the better of the dungeon item shuffles, because you don't have to worry about key shuffles. You have to know how like these key conservation and all that. And Volkix is heading directly down towards the Hera basement.
Yep, I don't have to worry about finding that swamp small key, for one.
No, to answer your question in chat, it's not a boss shuffle. It's actually shuffled enemy damage.
Alright, where are you gonna go, Data Plet?
I
Gotta be up the mountain, right?
He's heading for the mountain,
Yep.
yeah. So that will this will inevitably lead him towards the Titan's Mitts, and this will lead him to do his thing of wild. Of course, his Titan's Mitts are out of logic because he had done a water walk, and you need the flippers to get that from out of the waterfall wishing.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll also be able to combo a lot of Dark Death Mountain with this check here, even if it's out of logic. You just get it done seeing us already here.
Of course, yeah. And Volkix is going to be heading into the Dark World right now, heading for Hype Cave. And this will actually give him a bit of information. This will actually let him give information as to whether or not, like, what the required amount of crystals it's needed for Ganon, or that's the goal that is possible. Could possibly. That's all we know.
Yep. We could have a fast Ganon as well.
It's possible, yeah.
There's a second 20.
So that tells me that it is more likely than not swordless.
So we will need those silvers today, because silverless hammer Ganon is theoretically possible, but I don't think I've ever seen a runner pull it off, or even a video of it. So it's not a very easy fight.
Yeah. So, well, the extra 20 single rupees that we could pretty much rule that. Well, we could possibly, or it's still not confirmed, but it's possible that we may end up with a swordless seed. So he's going to get the information right away from. So he's going to do the check here for the Pyramid Fairy or Pyramid Ledge, and the goal is that we need 6 crystals to kill Ganon. And
not too far off, and DataPlate will actually be able to check the goal to enter GT as well once they get the mitts, or after doing Hera, because they already have the mitts.
Yeah, and this will actually let the information. This actually gives. There's also a bit of information too that also looks like to be at the VCAN and Seed, so so we need to go up the GT anyway.
Yep.
And to answer a question in chat, no, Wallkicks did not get the map from off of the pyramid ledge.
Yeah, Wallkicks has skipped a couple maps that were kind of right there.
Which is interesting to me because those are like those give you a lot of information as to whether or not they are crystal or pendants or not. Now, obviously, there are morphless ones like the Hera, the Hyrule Castle, and the Ganon's Tower maps, or just maps that we found that are just we've already been to those dungeons before.
And DataPlate is okay. There we go. Had a little bit of trouble with Hera Pop, but gets it in the end.
Yeah, he did a different Hera Pop, which involves super speed. This one I can never get down. But by using super speed, it is possible to naturally clip yourself into the pods without having to do the bomb jump for it.
Yeah, the bomb strat seems to be a lot more consistent from the videos that I've seen, at least. I can't get the super speed one yet either, so yeah.
It's even more consistent if you use the boots for that bomb strat, using the what I personally call the Trachera setup, where you line yourself up with the bottom peg, and then place a bomb at a specific pixel, and then go up to the top, and then just you want to use menu buffers to line up for a certain visual cue on the chest that you open, and then you can just hook shot directly over there.
Okay, alright. Meanwhile, Wallkicks is in pod. So far, mostly just keys. But early bow, early hammer, pod's gotta be the play. Gotta have something.
At this point, the pod play, it seems like the right call. Now, swordless mode isn't as easy as you may think. You have to use a hammer as your primary weapon, or the rest of your weapons in your arsenal. But the hammer is the most important one. You'll have to know things like hammer blind, hammer cold stare, hammer trinex. There's a lot of things that goes into a swordless seed that you have to learn. You have to know that in order to use your medallions, you have to gotta find the hammer. In order to get into Ice Palace, you gotta stand on a specific tile in order to actually open up the dungeon with bombos, or open up the or start the cold stare fight that way.
Yep. There's a lot of different things you gotta think about for swordless.
And as Jay Cooper XSL points out in the chat, the mitts are nice in this regard because let them do let them go for hookshot cave. They'll figure out what crystals are needed for GT, and so on.
And unfortunately, DataPlate just did take a death before checking, or was that a?
No, that was a death warp.
Death warp?
That was a death.
Okay, it was death warp. Okay.
Yeah, that was a death warp. He's seen the opportunity that because this is shuffled damage, he's using the enemies to knock him down to give him a death warp pretty easily.
And Wall Kicks gets a Hammer Yump there. Just 20 rupees.
And actually, Wallkick's going for the hammer jump, or the hammer yump, as mostly people call it. We'll find the silver arrows because, as a result of that. It's actually saving his keys for later. And there's the map for Eastern Palace, so pretty useless. And Wallkick's opting to do a death warp to get out of there, saving his keys in hand.
Alright, and going straight to the back now.
And Dataplet is opted to go for Super Bunny Cave. This is the Dark Death Mountain play, as we have predicted.
Yeah, there's a bunch of items and not a bunch, but a little bit of information that you can get here.
Alright, Super Bunny Cave. It is a hearts container and a shovel. Dig spot's now open.
Alright, and we're also getting a TR check. And we have crystals on Skullwoods and TR, and Swamp is a pendant.
Yeah, it's more common to see the, and looks like it is Ether for TR. But it's more common to do map checks, especially in a dungeon item shuffle, because it'll give you information about. It gives you information about the pendants and crystals. That's what the maps are useful in this case. There is another potential sword.
But other than that, really nothing in Hookshot Cave. So now we get to go see what we need to get into Ganon's Tower.
So far, we know that it's 6 crystals to kill Ganon. GT requires 4 crystals.
Of course.
4, 6. That's not terrible.
But it also could mean we could have a double dip of you need to go into GT to go finish some crystals, possibly.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also possible for, like your Goma to end up in GT because of the way the fill works when you do have reduced crystals like this.
That's true. And seeing as we don't need 7 crystals, our runners may not have to do TR today, which would be really nice.
Yeah, Wallkicks did finish off the Helmets Arcane, and it's also and actually got the another crystal, so that is we're about a third of the way there. So Dataplet, okay, that straight up confirms it. It is Starless mode.
Oh, okay. Got it. There we go.
Because of that Bombos tile, that confirms that it is Starless mode.
Yeah, he was just going into Ice Palace to check. Because I was like, wait a second, this could be a play if it works out. Because we know that our other gloves are locked behind the flippers, so the flippers could hide other things as well.
Yeah, I think that this was the right call for Dataplet to just check out Ice Palace while you're there, just to make sure that it is Starless mode. And this will be a fun one because Starless mode, it's a low chance of ever appearing, but when it shows up, it's actually pretty fun. It's a 5% chance for Starless to pop up.
Yep, and Wall Kicks is going into Skull Woods here.
So to answer a question in chat related to the settings for tonight's mystery, we have ourselves a boot start with a shuffled enemy damage, a map compass shuffle, 4/6, and Starless mode.
Meanwhile, in the Skull Woods, we did find the ice rod.
Yeah.
So even though we probably don't want to complete TR today, we already have both rods.
And there is the remaining 5-6 crystal information from Dataplet. The other one is in Thieves Town,
which is also completable. So we could have an early Pyramid Fairy payoff here.
Yeah, and also from what I'm seeing too, it's also a hard mode because we do have a fire shield.
Yep, and well, we've got a fire shield, but that mirror shield could still be hiding out somewhere.
Right, but Dataplet getting the information that there's 6 crystals to get into Ganon, and actually he is going to get the information about the map here. That is going to be a Ice Palace map, which is the other pendant.
So, good play not finishing it then, and just checking on it.
Yeah, and with that, that actually gives us all the crystals that we cared, all the information regarding our pendants, crystals, and our special pendants and special prizes as well. The 5-6 crystals and the green pendant.
Yep, so now the riders can start really planning on which ones they want to complete before they go into GT, if they're planning on that, or which ones they want to beat to get to Ganon, that whole stuff.
Yeah, so the Lord Kick saw the information right away, and that was because of the fact that the vines are cut open by default in a Swordless mode. He knows right away that this is a Swordless mode. Dataplet giving out looking at a catfish check, just a single rupee.
Meanwhile, Wall Kicks is going to town with that fire rod on Mothula. Mothula not playing really nice though. Ooh. There's that shuffle damage kicking in.
Yeah, bosses are not immune to this shuffle as well. So that Mothula can take a lot of damage, and because he lost all of his magic from using the fire rod shots, he's gonna probably have to leave this particular dungeon unless he gets half magic, which didn't turn out to be the case. That was just a Harkitator.
Could stop. It looks like Gibdos don't really do as much damage as usual today, though. But could get a refill in that second room. But we'll have to go through the whole statue moving and stuff to get it, though.
Yeah, I just checked to make sure this is correct as well. The maximum thus far is hard. If we find a mirror shield, then we know it's normal mode, or if we find a male.
Yep, because I think hard caps you at green mail.
It does. I looked at the website as well.
Swordless hard, so much fun, right?
That is gonna be a fun challenge, especially with the fact that it's also shuffled enemy damage.
That's true. And we'll also find out if we're in basic or advanced logic, if this is a key or not. It's a shield.
So we are in normal mode.
Yeah, it's normal mode. That's our third shield.
So that's actually a good sign for a swordless seed. So we know that there's mail out there. Is it not? Is it? I thought
because if the third mail will turn, or the third shield will turn into green 20.
Right,
The
that's
shields are still
true.
in there, but the third one you can't pick up.
And I keep
So-
forgetting that progressive shields are a thing. Yes, I know that the shields are progressive.
So once data plot goes there, we'll find out if it's truly hard mode or not.
Yeah, and data plot probably won't be heading back there until literally he finishes that pod. No, not necessarily. To answer a question, chat. The silvers when it's in soreless mode will always be silvers if it regardless of difficulty.
Yes, Silverlist in Hammer Ganon is a very, very difficult fight, and the timing is so precise, so it makes it very, very impossible, basically.
Yeah, because the fact that the hitbox for the hammer is very small, and in a soreless mode, the game is programmed to have Ganon be vulnerable to the hammer, which does count for tempered sword damage. It's that's why the hammer is very important in this seed, and the silver arrows just makes it a lot more easier to work with.
Alright, I mean, my wall kicks is in our second 5-6 crystal in Thieves Town.
I'd have to see what I'd have to see because to answer a question in chat from our tracker Captain ND 13. I'd have to look because I believe we did fire a single arrow shot. Oh, okay. Let me look. I just looked at it down. If it's normal item functionality because of the normal and expert modes.
Yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see a little bit. But that's the fun of mystery. You gotta figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, mystery mode is a fun mode because you have to figure out the settings for yourself as you play the game. It actually does add a bit more randomization to the game because each seed is preloaded with a different setting. Definitely gonna get the silver arrows from off of the dark base. Also, one thing I'm starting to realize too that will also whether or not we'll confirm if it's normal mode or not is whether or not we go past 14 hearts. If we are stuck at 14 hearts, then we know for sure. We should know for sure that it is a hard mode.
Yeah, that's very true. Because we will get capped off pretty quick.
Yeah, at the moment, wall kicks is at 9 hearts.
Alright, let's see what's in the maiden's chest here. Just 10 arrows. So far, really nothing in Thieves Town.
But it's necessary because that isn't the other 5-6 crystal.
That is true. Well, never mind, there's the flippers. Just as I say it.
Hey, so that means that those mitts are now in logic. And once we get to the mirror, we could probably dive into Swamp Palace and see if we can find our other whether or not we find the can of Samaria or the other Meyer medallion or whatever.
Yep, depends on what we need for that. Alright, wall kick. Let's see if how well the hammer blind goes. There is a script for this, but it's another one that's kind of hard to stay on track for.
Yeah, and generally you don't really see runners go for this script because of the fact that since this is swordless mode, yes, well there is a script. It's not the script that you know about, and wall kicks takes a fireball to the face.
Yep, that hurts. And it's just gonna have to come back later.
What he's hoping for, really, what he's hoping to find a male upgrade. So if he does happen to find one, and once again, we don't know whether or not it is hard mode or not, because that shield that wall kicks picked up is only his first shield, and we don't know what, and we still don't know if the shield that Data Plot had picked up. That shield that Wolkix picked up is actually the maximum that Data can have.
And we'll probably find out once Dataplet here finishes off Pod. Because I would assume that the next play would be Skull Woods and Thieves Down area. Meanwhile, Wallkicks picks up the powder off of Dig Game, so that puts another check into logic over there.
Yeah, that's the Magic Bats check will open up for Wallkicks.
Alright, and on Stumpy, we just have 300 rupees. So if you're wall kicks, do you go do flippers checks, or where do you go next?
I personally say do flipper checks. Let's just follow the flippers into those Titan Smiths.
Or go to escape.
That too.
Oh yeah, he also did take an early death here and didn't get checked, I think, either item, so a little bit more item density here for him.
Yeah, that death didn't have a same quit point, and would have to and that would mean he would have had to grab the Hyrule Castle map anyway.
Nah, yep. Alright, Dataplet, what are you thinking about? Okay, just floating.
He could do the Mire Shed just to get a bit of information, or the Mire Shed, yeah, to get a bit more information out.
Yeah, that would be good, because we'll find out what Misery Mire entrance is as well. And
yeah,
he's a heart on the witch.
But that only means that he's only able to do the Mire Shed and also check out the Mire entrance, and that's it. He wouldn't be able to access Desert Palace or Checkerboard Cave without the mirror.
That's true. And Dataplet will also save a little bit of time over wall kicks here, being able to go through the Mit's entrance to Dark World, which in Hammerless is a little faster because you don't have to worry about going through all those little bushes.
Okay, so Dataplet is now in Skull Woods. This will give us the information whether or not we do happen to find whether or not that shield that Wildkicks had picked up is a sign that it's hard mode, or we do have normal mode enabled, and there is some mail out there.
Yep. But Dataplet will leave us in a little bit more of mystery, as he's going to go do the back first. Which does make sense, because with that fire rod, you can go back to front route a bit quicker.
Alright, here's the backup escape play for wall kicks.
Yeah, there was nothing in here, I think. Oh, there was the second shield there.
Quake, yeah. But again, the only time now. So wall kicks can do Zora, and that will give him information that way.
So for chat, I think the reason why Dataput didn't save Scum the Mushroom is we're really only looking for the mirror and the red cane at this point. And red cane you can't fake powder for the red cane, and the only other item would be the mirror. So I don't think it'd be worth it to save Scum that mushroom just for a mirror, because there's so many other options, right?
Yeah, and besides, we already have the powder anyway, so it doesn't make it. I mean, yes, the cane could pop up on the magic bat.
Dataput doesn't have that yet when they didn't save Scum the mushroom.
Right. Alright, Wall kicks is over towards the Waterfall of Wishing in the Zora area. He does grab the Tides bits, so this will give us, this information here, this play for Zora, will confirm whether or not this is hard mode or not.
Alright, also for chat, if Kane is go mode, then we will also need the book to get into desert. So it's either mirror or book then, if you have to do Meyer and TR.
Right, so okay, Zora is... He's gonna check out the Zora check, and survey says it is hard mode.
It is. There we go.
This is gonna be a fun one.
The 6 is really end, so we could skip desert without the book. Okay.
And this will be a fun one because hard mode, swordless, random enemy damage, or not random enemy damage, shovel enemy damage. That means there is no protection whatsoever. There's absolutely no protection. You only have a fire shield to your name, and that's it.
Yeah, not a very enticing proposition, that's for sure. And for all intents and purposes, Arcane or Mirror book could be in GT. It's only a 4 for entrance in GT, and we can technically complete Thieves Town and Skull Woods at this point and get all 4 crystals.
Yeah. Now because of the way the garbage field works, as you lower the crystal count for GT, you end up the more potential items that are important for the seed show up.
Yep. And Dataput taking an unfortunate death to the Gibdos. Not being very nice, even if they are doing a little bit less damage than usual today.
Well, Kix is going to open up Turtle Rock. And he's got the information about Skull Woods being the crystal.
Yep. Alright, and it's gonna go into Hookshot Cave.
Oh, I see what he was trying to do. As one of our chat members points out, the death was actually intentional from those Gyptos. Reason why he did it? Just to maximize his magic.
That makes sense, because you're gonna need a lot of it for Moth.
Yeah, and this fight is not fun whatsoever because now that we know it's hard mode, that that is going to be a tough one in my eyes because it's going to be careful not to get 1.0 here. Okay, good. Yeah, it's possible for the wall master to grab you while you're falling, and that's considered getting 1.0 because when you're falling there is no fall damage.
Ooh, and Dataplet takes a death to the spikes.
Fall damage. There's no iframes when you're falling in the Japanese 1.0 version of the game. That was later fixed in the localized version of the game, and later in the later Japanese 1.0 or 1.1 build of the game, which is essentially just the version that the localized version has.
Yeah, similar with item dashing, which was it's only Japanese 1.0 specific, and it was later fixed. And Dataplet doing the death warp strats to refill on magic again. Makes sense.
Yeah, this fight's not fun, really, because this modular fight, this to me is rough, and with the random enemy damage, you're hoping just need to get at least your maximum amount of hearts before you even have a shot at the game at fighting Moth.
Yep. Or a bottle. Would
That
also be
too.
very useful.
Yeah. And the only bottle that we know of is on the bumper ledge.
And no cape to get it.
And as I'm looking through the website as well, there is the amount of bottles remains at 4. It doesn't scale with difficulties.
But if I recall correctly, the harder you go, the less heart that it actually refills. Each type of potion refills, I believe.
Yes, that is true. Potions in hard mode only fill for 7 health, and for magic refills, it only fills for 50%.
Yeah, this is a tough fight here.
Powdering anti-fairies only gives out hearts and not actual fairies. When using the cape, it's double speed, and Burner does not give you invisibility.
But we may not have item functionality randomized in this, though. We're just not 100% sure yet.
Yeah, that could also be normal. That could also be normal or hard as well.
Ooh, and Wall Kick's pulling off a half heart on Mothula.
Yeah.
Gets it. Ooh.
So, as I'm looking through this too, there is a possibility for item functionality to also be hard. So, unless we figured out down the line that when we power anti-fairy, whether or not it gives out hearts, that's when we know that it's normal. It's hard mode functionality.
We actually do know it's actually normal already because we are stunning enemies along the way, and that like the boomerang was stunning the Gibdos, and so that does mean that we are in normal because hard next to it, the boomerangs don't stun.
I am paying attention, ladies and gentlemen. I am paying attention.
Yeah, with mystery, there's just so much different things going on. So when you're trying to figure it out, it can be a little frazzling to the mind. It's even worse running it for sure.
Yeah, not to mention too, we do have Silver Arrows working as intended in with normal mode.
Yes, that as well. Alright, and Wall Kicks is going to go check hammer pegs. Please don't hammer dash. You can't. Okay, good.
Yeah, you're unable to hammer dash because you need a sword for that hammer dash to work, for whatever reason.
Yeah, many times people forget it's swordless and then just dash into that first hammer peg and then just bonk off and be like, what just happened? Alright, let's see if Wall Kicks goes into Thieves Town or go picks up the Smith. Okay, looks like going to Thieves Town.
So that will give Wallkex his 4th crystal, and that will also give him his access to GT.
Yeah, I would beeline my way to GT after this. Not even gonna check the Smiths, honestly. I wouldn't. And I recently found out if you go back to Zelda's cell, you can reset this fight. You can grab the maiden and have it start at the top again, but in a swordless, since seeing as there's not really a script anyways, just go for it. Go straight to the boss.
Yeah, so Wallkex needs to be cautious here. He's got to use those fire shield to protect himself from these fireballs, and at the same time, try to make sure he doesn't get hit by the blind heads. Using some pause strats to just trying to edge that out. Oh, he's not in a good spot.
Oh, this is very, very close.
I do like the pause strats. That does help him through there. Okay, so he got through that.
Oh no!
And as I say that, he gets sniped by a fireball.
And is going back.
I mean, at this point, so you know that's 4 crystals. You definitely want to go for it again because
Definitely.
Yeah, there's no other options. You'll have to go. You'll probably find your mirror or cane in inside GT.
Alright, round 3 for Wall Kicks.
And another fall for Wallkex.
Yeah, and Wall Kicks is just leaving it for now. Can't blame him.
He's at this point trying to he might want to find a cape somewhere. That way he has his bottle.
And also, seeing as we're in normal functionality, that cape will give invincibility, which will be very useful for when you're in those little phases where blind can't be hurt at all and he's just sitting on the ground. Just hold on to the wall, save some magic, and not get damaged. Alright, but Wallkicks is going to check the Smith and probably Powder right after that. Just money on the Smith.
So, honestly, if I were to play this right now and in this current situation, I just keep going after blind, just to have my 4th crystal.
Yeah. Why did he skip Powder? Unless he's waiting for the mirror to mirror over from purple. No, but huh. We'll have to ask him about that. Alright, gonna go turn in the purple chest. And Dataplet's going digging for some more money.
Makes sense. And just 20 rupees for wall kicks.
Yeah, I think the next piece of progression has to be in GT, and you gotta go do Thieves Town. No matter how difficult it is today. But we do have a check of Misery Mire. It is Ether, so we can go in if we want.
Yeah, that's another dungeon you can enter. And there's the Canis of Maria.
There's the Candace and Maria. Well, I guess Thieves Town Blind wasn't the answer. Because now we can complete Misery Mire and Thieves Town, and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that also puts wall kicks in go mode.
That it does. That it does. And that cane can come in handy on Blind, because it's actually not a bad weapon to fight Blind with.
Yeah, using the blocks on blind, it does also count towards the damage necessary. Blind's fight works works way different compared to the other bosses, where bosses typically have health or some form of damage, like some sort of health on them. Blind only goes down after 9 hits, and it's a static 9 hits no matter what weapon you're using, unless you're using the fire rod, which doesn't work.
Yep, certain weapons don't do any damage at all, or don't even hit him. And other things do exactly 1 damage, and he has 9 health type of situation.
Oh,
and that would have been useful about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, so that's Wall Kicks' bottle. That is gonna help with blind very significantly. To answer a question in chat, the setting is actually a 4-6, not a 4-7. Defeat Ganon Sorless, hard mode with shuffled enemy damage, and a map compass shuffle with a boot start. It's also normal item functionality.
But at this point, we're just looking for big keys to each dungeon, in each dungeon, to finish off the seed.
It's gonna show up possibly, that big key is gonna probably show up in cutscene chest, or either that or the compass chest, or even if you want to put it, be really rude, the last chest that you'll ever check in Mire.
Oh, of course.
So, at this point, I would imagine Wall Kicks would want to get all 6 crystals in his hands, so that way he has enough for not only Ganon, but not only for GT but for Ganon. No, but he's actually in go mode. So there's the final. There is another sword, or potentially armor, whichever the two.
Yep. We've had a lot of green 20s. And Data was a little stuck there for a moment, but looks like we have him back. Alright, and Dataplet's making a good call and going into the Mire area here. And we'll pick up the cane right away.
And that will also put him in go mode. And I'm pretty sure that wall kicks and Danaplat are not going to go into desert anytime soon.
Yeah, we probably won't enter it at all today.
Now,
Because
wall
go
kicks
for it.
better be careful here. So, given that it's normal item functionality, we know that these fairies, that countering bunny beams or anti-fairies, will give out a fairy.
Yeah, the only way we do Car Rock today is if Mirror shows up on, or the only way we do Desert is if Mirror shows up on Vidi here, which will make it so we don't have to do Turtle Rock at all.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but if it is a harder expert mode, then I'm pretty sure that you don't have a half magic unless there is a half magic in hard mode. And I'm thinking wrong.
I don't believe there's half magic in hard mode.
I don't think so either. It doesn't say on the website.
Yeah. But we do have wall kicks coming on to Vidi here. A bunch of silver arrows, and we'll be out of here real lickety split.
Yeah, this is gonna be a Space Invaders Vidi fight. I say that, or actually, to be more correct, it's actually a Galaga Vidi because the Galaga boss in that game only takes 2 shots to knock down, and everything else just takes out it's 1 shot. So that's Wolkhick's 4th crystal, but more likely than not, he's gonna go over to Turtle Rock, and more likely than not, he might just wait until he finishes out T-Rock and gets through GT. But okay, looks like he's gonna head back into Thieves Town though, which is fair because that way that's a better routing than what I just said.
Yeah, plus if you have to use your potion, you can quick flute to 2 and pick up another one before TR.
Okay, our chat members actually pointed out that it did change in version 31, where hard mode used to not have half magic. It is possible for half magic to show up in hard mode.
Alright.
At least that's what the chat says. I'll take their word for it.
And Data Plet picks up the non-existent, possibly male gold sword, we don't know.
Wallkex re-enters the blind fight, this time with a potion in hand. So he for sure will be a lot more safer in this fight. He can play sort of aggressive, but not recklessly aggressive. But that actually is looking to be a pretty fair, a lot better fight than the previous fights that Wallkex had done in the past. So that's Wallkex's 5th crystal. To answer your question, chat, this is a 4/6 hard item pool, normal item functionality, swordless with a shuffled enemy damage and boot start, and it's also open mode.
And another thing I've realized, nobody's checked that green pendant yet. Both of them have killed Moldorm, but neither of them have checked it, and we probably won't ever see that now.
At this point, what gives?
It could be the mirror, and then you have to do TR. But wait, where's Wallkick's going?
I'm as confused as you are. I have no clue why Wallkicks is opting to go for Ice Palace.
Does he think that Ice Palace is a crystal? Did he not get the map for it? He did skip a bunch of maps.
He may have. He may have done so. That alone is concerning because earlier we saw that a lot of Wallkicks left out a lot of. He left out a lot of maps along his route, and he's not aware that as soon as he gets his pendant, he realizes, shoot, I have to go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the map on Pyramid Ledge, which Wallkicks did not pick up.
Yeah, so, I'll be honest, I think his intention really, he's more likely than not going to go the dungeon. He's going to do the icebreaker, and that to me is, I mean, if his icebreaker is intended to finish the dungeon out, then I'm okay with it. Which is a pretty successful. It did a really successful.
Yeah, first
icebreaker.
try.
Yeah, this is one of the more recent glitches that was discovered and was approved by the Racing Council. It's essentially you extend the door state past where the door state would normally be, which is just right next to the door.
And with how doors work, they override any other type of movement, and so you can walk straight past barriers.
It's the way the doors work is that the doors are programmed to put you in the direction that the door is going to lead you to. So, if you were to push left on a door that's facing vertically, then you'll go up or down, towards the door that you're supposed to be, towards the direction you're supposed to be going. If you are facing a door, if you're going through a door from the left to the right, moving up or down, it will move you in the direction that the door is supposed to go. By tricking the game into putting yourself next to the door and using some Samaria shenanigans, then it's possible for the door state to extend past where the door normally is supposed to be, and with that you're able to pass through the barrier that is normally blocking the big key chest.
That is very interesting how that works. And looks like we have a pretty easy Coldstare fight today, because Coldstare is doing like half a heart of damage per hit instead of the usual tons.
Yeah, this will be a really easy fight for Wallkicks. This will only give him a pendant, and then that's where he says, okay, that's Turtle Rock. This isn't really. This is pretty much a sign that, yeah, he missed out on a lot of. He missed out on the maps, and that map he missed out, which was the Pyramid Ledge one. That's where it's came back to bite him. Yes, well, Wallkicks is still in the lead, so it doesn't really matter now.
Yep. And for chat, the medallion on the floor just allows you to use Bombos there, because you will not have a sword, and normally swords are required to use medallions.
Yeah, and
thus and swordless, you can't use medallions elsewhere either.
Yes, and that honor to, because of the fact that swords are taken out and are replaced with 20 single rupees, that honor is given to the hammer, where you need to hammer in order to use medallions whatsoever.
Alright, okay.
And there's a couple of other spots to know whether or
Oh
not
no.
that's a pretty rough death for data play. There are a couple spots that you know that tell you whether or not that it is a sortless seed. If the vines near the before you head over to Modvilla are cut down, then it's also sortless. If it's and also the more important one that we saw in Ice Palace was if the Bombos medallion is engraved into the floor, then it's also sortless. We found that information from data plant earlier on. Wallkicks gets a bug net. That'll be helpful if he wants to catch fairies in the bottle. So with this in mind, at this point in time, in the seed, Wallkicks is going for the 6th and final crystal that he would need to finish off the game. For the recap, to answer a question in chat regarding that, it is a 4/6. It's a 4/6 seed, so 6 crystals for GT, 6 crystals for Ganon, and 4 to enter GT. As a recap for the rule for what we have found, it is a shuffle. We started off with a enemizer, some form of enemizer, and that was shuffled enemy damage with a boot start. It was an open seed where it was 4 crystals to enter GT, 6 to kill Ganon. We found it was hard item pool and normal item functionality, and it was also soreless.
Alright, so we'll see in a moment if Wallkicks gets hit by these chain chomps, whether they do regular damage, but he expertly gets through the room and doesn't have to worry about figuring out whether they do more or less damage than usual.
He's gonna prepare the powder here that will give him more hearts to work with.
And nice juke on that pokey.
Yeah, with Turtle Rocket, with shuffled enemy damage, it's possible for the enemies to be a lot more painful or a lot less painful, depending on what we find there.
And since it's actually, I think, a little bit more likely to do a little bit less because they are already some of the higher tier enemies, I believe. So it's more likely that they're going to be shuffled down rather than shuffled up.
Right. But as we're thinking about this too, and we're about to run down the seed, these 2 runners are really good. Not gonna lie, these are really good runners. We have a total of 6 runners in our race today, and we are showing 2 today. And it wouldn't be really fair if you didn't give them a follow. Wallkicks and Dataplat are putting their names out there. They're really good runners. And our tracker for the day is Captain NT13, and Professor Render, and my co-comment is Antisim. And definitely give us a follow as well.
Yeah, definitely give the professor here a follow. He's been awesome to commentate with. So
yeah, and I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed this little hobby that I've been putting into for about a year now. There's the key to burn up for Wallkicks. And given that this is normal functionality, we will have invincibility, just in case things go south. Not like we need it anymore, though.
It will be nice on Ganon.
Just to get a bit more, just to help with the damage there.
Yep.
And Dataplat has finally killed them off.
There we go.
So that brings him up to four crystals. And he would have to finish out Turtle. He's gonna finish out Turtle Rock. That'll be the 5th crystal, and then TR is the last crystal that he needs to worry about.
Yeah, so it seems like even though it's only 6 crystals to defeat Ganon, we really weren't given a choice to which one to skip, seeing as we never found the book or a mirror.
Yeah, and if I want to be honest, it's probably going to be in GT if it's on Laser Bridge.
Yeah, very likely. Laser Bridge it is.
Nope, there's the mirror. Not like it matters. Again, not like it matters.
Laser Bridge is almost worse, because that means you have to come into TR to get it. At least if it was GT and you did 4 crystals, maybe you got that mirror and were able to do it. But TR means you have to come into TR anyway.
Yeah, so Wallkicks is gonna fight Hammer Tridex. It'll be an interesting one, because this is one of the one of the few menu bosses that you gotta worry about. First of all, Ice Rod, the fire head, and then switch back to the hammer, and then immediately start hammering away at it. Then go back to the fire. Then go once that's down, go switch to the fire rod. Then fire rod the ice side, and yeah, and then you gotta worry about the. Then you gotta worry about the big bad Shrinex head, and you're good to go. Once it pops back up. Okay.
And Wallkicks is opting to spam a few fire rod shots into and gets that ice head down.
And down goes Trinex, and that will be Wallkicks' 6th and final crystal, and he'll be off the Janus Tower. So this game is not going to be official, because this is a community race. It's not the league or not even the main tournament, because it's still way down the road. But inside Ganon's Tower, there are 22 locations where the Ganon's Tower Big Key could potentially be. From 1 to 22, get your guesses in chat where you think the Big Key might be. Anti-Sim, what do you think it's going to be?
I always like to guess 14. Because sometimes it's Fire Snake Room, sometimes it's Rando Room, sometimes it's the past there. So it's always different. It's never in one location. How about you?
I'm going to go 2 down and say 12. So Wallkicks is going to enter GT. All guesses will close as soon as Wallkicks enters GT once a hole. He's in the 4 crystals in his hands, which really should be 6. He breaks the seal of Ganon's Tower, and 21 chests of a torch separates Wallkicks from getting the Big Key and completing the seed. Let's do this. All guesses are now closed.
Sora 2K7, you are the last guess.
Alright. Number 1 is a key. Number 2 is another key. Opting to go right. Makes a lot of sense, because you got 2 keys.
Yep. I've seen a lot of runners even say just get 1 key on this Hope Room, they go straight right.
Yeah, that's fair. Denaply taking a death on the mountain. Not a big deal, honestly. You have to go back on there. But did he not? Wait, did he not? Did he not get the old man? Huh.
Yeah, no, just went straight to East Death Mountain. Never got the old man. Never rescued him. Alright, 6 chests in so far, no big key.
And go to grab the key and heading over towards the left side. Number 7 is going to be the torch. Number 7 is a piece of heart.
We are pretty close to that limit there already. At 13 hearts.
Yeah, we're 13. We're at 13. We're 13 away. This is gonna be pretty much sort of vanilla-ish, except for or NMG-ish, except for the fact that we don't have a sword. All right, number 8, a key. Number 9, 50 rupees. Number 10, hammering these
After we hammer some stuff,
yeah.
is
Number 10,
half magic.
Number
It
11
does exist.
Yep. Number 11 is also a 5 rupee thing.
Alright, here we go. Number
What do you mean?
12.
What do you mean E-race size is a bad number? I like the exponential growth. Oh wait, that's continuous growth.
Alright, so number 12 was not the answer today, unfortunately.
E raised to pi I. That's a better number. Yeah. Okay, so that was number 12, right?
Yes, so far.
Okay, number 13 is 20 rupees. I mean, I just got I did get through pre-calculus in my college. I'm doing trigonometry next. But anyway, number 14 is 20 single rupees. That's probably a map, or not a map. Probably an armor upgrade. That's current up to number 17.
I do believe so.
Yeah, because Bob's torch will be 18, and then the torch, and then that will be 19, 20, 21 over on Ice Armors, and Tyrell's number 22.
Yes. Yep.
And talk about this too. We've had both vanilla, practically like normal maps and compasses in Ganon's Tower. Also, hi Bob, number 18.
And bye, Bob. Or at least
Bob.
go to the other side of the room.
Yeah, the other side of the room. And there's another. That's the last 20 single rupees that we're ever gonna get. Or we did have 14 hearts, so that could also be a heart container. Or a heart container.
That's also possible. And that was a real quick Armos fight there. Lincoln, you missed it.
19, 20, 21. 19 is a book Fedora, 20 is 3 bombs, 21 is 20 rupees. It's just tile room.
It's tile room.
Well, we
So
haven't
who
seen
gets
this in a
22?
while. We haven't seen this in a while. Or at least I haven't seen it in a while.
Nobody guessed 22. Come on, chat. I'm a little disappointed in you.
What do you mean? I mean, you do realize that everyone is won by Price is Right rules, right?
That's true.
And if you want to be technical, if NRX 10 had not guessed after GT, he would have won the closest.
That's also
but
true.
The closest I see at the moment would have to be Wind Fox 470.
With 15,
With 15?
yeah.
And there's the big key. I don't know what that's all about.
Alright, and up the gauntlet we go.
Alright, continuing forward.
Alright, yep. And with silver arrows, this shouldn't be too difficult of a gauntlet, even with hammer.
Yeah.
At least with lamb molas and whatnot.
Yeah, and that alone is going to be a pretty easy fight. And not to mention too, we do have Burnout having given invincibility. So because of normal item functionality, it's going to drop down here just to get some iframes, and stopping at the safety room to get some fairies. Won't be able to get him in a bottle because he still has the blue potion in hand.
Yeah, that makes sense, because you're down to 2.5 hearts. Just take the safety room. Alright, and Wallkicks is getting a little low on health, getting a little bullied by the lasers. Doing 3 hearts of damage per hit. And into Lamola's 2, or our first Lamola's in this case, because we never went desert.
Yeah, but technically it's still Lamb mode 2 because of the way that the fight is technically called.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, yeah. And we did get data checking the last 2 checks on Laser Bridge, which has our Bombos medallion.
Yeah, again, not like it matters. Alright, wall kicks do Wizard 1 and 2. Probably one of my favorite rooms in the entirety of the game. Did see the opportunity to see that there is a fairy, opting of course to pick it up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is before he goes over to land mode 2. Does he not have the... Okay, does he not have the... Okay. He's using that so that way he can dash through this room. Okay, fair enough. And then he's gonna... Alright, this room is a little bit different now because of the... Oh, he could have actually picked...
Yeah, the full magic drop that just came up at the end.
Yeah, could have picked it up. That does count as a... That doesn't count as a screen... As a super tile, because it moves on to the other super tile.
Yeah, but when you're already going forward, it's not really worth coming back, I think, especially because there is full magic coming up in this next room right here.
Right. But it would suck if you did run out of magic and you don't have a blue potion on hand.
That's true. It would.
Torches 1 and 2. Go ahead.
Since it is Randomizer, the ice head does not have its ice stick on the ground for Trinex. That's a nice thing.
Yeah, it doesn't. That doesn't really count towards it. Like it makes, because it's supposed to compensate for rooms that aren't, you know, Triax's room if it does happen.
Yep.
All right.
But even, and we have 3-eyed Moldorm again today.
I think
Hello,
it's still. I think it stays the same. I believe it stays the same if regardless of the Moldorm.
It doesn't. I've seen 2 and 8-eyed Moldorm on the same seed for Randomizer before in V30.
I don't right now. It's been a while since I played an Randomizer, so I can't really tell. At this point, he doesn't really need to find anything else. Opts to check it anyway. Again, I don't have a reason. I don't really see a reason why.
Maybe a bottle.
Probably for a bottle, yeah. That's probably one of the reasons. But even then, like it's a low chance for that to show up.
It is. And Dataplet is also heading over to GT. Gonna get the bad news that Tile Room is your big key today.
Yeah. On to Aga 2, and I'll tend to go for the net strats, which is always fun to see.
It's significantly easier than hammer strats.
Yeah, it's yeah, because you actually have more time you have more time to work with. You have a longer cast time than it is with a hammer.
I'm not quite timing all the shots properly there.
Yeah. But with the fact that you have an Agate 2 fight where just the net, it's actually a lot more fun to work with, but it's also makes the fight a little bit more makes the fight kind of slower compared to if you did have a sword. But knocks down an Agate 2. You'll be fighting Ganon next.
Yeah, with the bug net, you can't just spam it like you can a sword after you do the spin. So
right, it's like kind of a slower cast time compared to a sword, but it's better than but you have a longer active activity rate, a longer active hitbox compared to a hammer.
yep. And into Ganon goes wall kicks.
Yeah, this is like why I said it like earlier on. Ganon is because of the fact that it's swordless. The game is programmed. The randomizer is programmed so that Ganon will take damage to he will take damage to a hammer when normally it does not do a thing.
And Ganon setting up a really nice warp location there for getting into phase 3 already for wall kick. So very nice.
I did like using the burn here. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense because it gives him because we know it's that his normal functionality. Using that invincibility to his advantage. It's only a form of invincibility that he has. Phase 4 still versus true weakness. We know this. No torch glitch, but it doesn't really matter. Actually, he's gonna go for it anyway. Does get it. But it doesn't really matter in a swordless if you miss torch glitch or not, especially with half magic and a potion in hand.
No potion. I had to use that for Trinex earlier, I believe it was.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Or in the gauntlet, one of the two. But gets a double on the last hit.
Let's get your DGs in the chat for wall kicks. And all he's got to do is across the by B3 and be finished with a C. We'll get the official SRL time in pretty soon. And I can confirm that Wall Kicks has finished first on the restream with the official SRL time of 1:41:38, and also first overall. Pick us up before we get dizzy.
GG Wall Kicks.
And not the dizzy egg. It's actually the feeling of being dizzy.
And welcome to the commentary restream Wall Kicks. GG.
GG's.
GG. Okay. Swordless Horde.
I've had worse. It wasn't the swordless or the hard aspect that was the problem here. It was the damage shuffle. I mean, multiple deaths to blind was kind of irritating. I thought I was gonna get past blind when I was doing all those pause buffers, because I think it was either the second or third time I was fighting blind, and I had gotten to a point to where he was basically I was in a corner, kind of stuck between blind, a head, and like a fireball, and I was able to pause buffer my way out of that, and then he just shot a laser at me and just sniped me. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you, game. But yeah, swordless isn't that bad. I've just done a bunch of swordless for the league playoffs. Hard mode, not terrible. 14 hearts is fine. It was just the damage shuffle that made the seed rough.
So, were there any thoughts about skipping TR, at least earlier on?
So the plan was after I finished Meyer, got my 4th crystal. I'm like, okay, I can do Thieves, Ice, and TR. I was like, at least one of them is going to be crystal, because I didn't pick up a whole lot of maps, so I had no idea what my pendants and crystals were. I knew Hera was a pendant. I knew that was the only pendant I knew. So I did Thieves Town. I went back. I finally finished blind and had no trouble that time with that fight. Got the crystal there, and so I'm like, okay, I'm up to 5 crystals. I'm going to go do either Ice Palace or Turtle Rock. I'm like, if I do Ice first and just Crystal, I can just skip TR altogether. If Ice is a pendant, I just go up to Turtle Rock. And that was me kind of hedging my bets, because if I skipped Ice and went to Turtle Rock and Turtle Rock was a pendant, all of a sudden I'm at 5 crystals going into GT. And so then it becomes a, okay, how much of a GT am I clearing? Potentially looking for either the mirror or the book. Obviously the mirror ended up being in TR, the book ended up being in GT. So sure, I lost a couple of minutes going to Ice Palace, but that was more just hedging bets, making sure I was going to be able to be in go mode by the time I was actually entering GT.
Very succinct. Makes sense.
Other than that, I thought it was really funny at the very beginning when I immediately dashed into a garden and got one-shotted when I was doing the Uncle route. I had a good laugh at that, but everything else, yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about this seed. Worked out.
Yeah, and that's a fair assessment.
I don't know how everyone else is doing. I don't actually have the restream up.
Dataplat is currently on getting that tile room big key, which is also another annoying part of the seed.
Yeah, that's, I mean, you know, every once in a while you just gotta do GT tile room. Nothing crazy there. I was a little concerned that I had to use my potion in the gauntlet, which is why I took Aga 2 super carefully. Because I had no idea how much damage those blue balls were going to do, and I didn't want to risk it, so I kind of just played it very safe, used the net, and only kind of went for the assured hits, and thankfully Aga 2 was being very kind, and I don't even think shot a blue ball in my direction.
Oh hey, there's an armor on the pedestal. Not like it matters because it was hard mode.
I was gonna say, yeah, it wasn't gonna be any difference because yeah, that was just gonna come out of green 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's another question chat brings up is, why'd you skip the powder? You were right there. Or the powder check, at least.
Forgot.
Alright.
Nothing more than just I didn't do it. No big deal. Yeah, I mean, I did some checks, or I did some skips that I probably normally wouldn't do, but happens.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't come back to bite you or anything, but... Yeah.
Exactly. Shoutouts to Kana Burner for being super helpful in GT.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It was normal item functionality, luckily, so
Mm-hmm.
those were working fine.
Okay, so at this point, Dataplat is gonna start the gauntlet. No finishers yet.
But I finished.
Well, not except for
No
except
more.
for you, Lucas.
But also want to say thanks for letting me be restreamed and for Speed Gaming for always putting these on. These are always really cool. And Mystery is always fun. This was totally labeled the friendly, mystery seed, and I think of like the friendly, this is maybe like the worst that it could have happened, that we could have gotten in terms of like swordless, damage shuffle. It wasn't random damage because that can get really nasty, but this for being a friendly mystery was pretty bad. Although as Shep pointed out, yeah, some of the bosses did very minimal damage, which was great. Thank you, Cold Stare.
Yeah, that Cold Stare, a fourth of a heart per hit.
Yeah, I do agree. Mystery is a really fun one. It's fun because of the different things that can happen. I will always remember my mystery that I did during my league match, where it was a pretty normal open swordless seed, and that was really fun. I will always remember the day when I played that swordless seed, and it was funny too because all my practice mysteries were absolutely trash.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I hate entrance. I hate key sanity. I never wanted those, but I got lucky. But at the same time, I got treated to a Sorless one, my first one too.
Swordless is fun as long as you're like mentally prepared for it, you know. Because
oh yeah.
It takes some getting used to. And to be fair, I didn't know this was a swordless seed until I went to the back of Skull Woods. At that point, I was just kind of had a. I kind of had a. I was suspect that it was going to be a swordless seed because we had only picked up I think 2 green 20s at the time, and I think I had 7 or 8 hearts, which was kind of too much for it to be expert mode because expert mode tops at 8 hearts, and I wasn't getting enough green 20s for me to sit here and say, okay, it's expert item functionality. But it also wasn't enough to say, okay, it's hard item functionality, which obviously it ended up being, or item pool, excuse me. So I went to the back of Skullwoods, kind of just assuming at this point that it's going to be a swordless seed, and sure enough, I got lucky and it was right.
Yeah, an expert item functionality and item pool is disabled in the friendly settings.
Oh, well.
And
Good to
also,
know.
we had Dataplet go to Ice Palace very early on just to check out whether it was swordless or not, because as soon as he entered in, we saw the bombos on the ground, so...
That's another easy way to do the check for sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's a fair play for Alan, and that pretty much helped us confirm that it was a swordless one, and then it's just a matter of whether or not it was hard, and then, yeah.
Yeah, fun seeds, like mystery. Do more of these.
Oh yeah, I should definitely join more of those mysteries. Yeah, definitely give a mystery a shot if you ever want to get it. Just go on the Discord, roll a mystery seed with Slosh Robots, and we'll see what you end up getting.
Alright, meanwhile, Dataplet has a Troll Dorm down, or Tri-Dorm down today.
And is gonna get the item from off of the chest. That is just the 50 rupees, like we had mentioned previously.
And into Geometry Wars Bugnet Edition for Dataplet. Ooh, not a single hit the first round. This is not an easy fight, so... Doing some dash rats, which help with the hitbox. That's 2 right there.
Yeah, that does still help for this fight in particular, doing the dash strats with the bug net, because it does count towards the reflection, and that does work out well for Dataplet. And it's gonna fight Ganon. So, at this point, Dataplet is going to start the Ganon fight. So to get onto the side of Ganon and start hammering away. Gotta get a nice up and close and personal with him. Looks like the Trident does a little bit, just very small amounts of damage.
And that's a nice shuffle there.
Still don't know what Ganon does. Like, they're just giving a hug to Ganon. Gets into the a good corner there. Oh,
Okay,
he does a lot.
Ganon's doing some damage today still. Yeah, he's gonna pull out that Burna to avoid damage in this phase.
Yeah, does not have enough, did not get enough. Looks like the fire bats are doing small amounts of damage as well. And it's gonna use the blue potion.
Yeah, you've got half magic. Don't have to really worry about burning out of that for the final phase. So, and into phase 3, data plot goes.
And then the rest should pretty much be a cakewalk at this point. The scary stuff is out of the way. And into phase 4, Silver is getting its true weakness once again. Prepping the Silver arrows here. Won't be able to get Torch Glitch, but doesn't really matter. Actually, he does get it.
Gets it, yeah. That's long range shot there, nice.
Really close shot, too. It was looking to be the last possible frame that you could have got the Torch Glitch on. And just one more hit and we'll do. And that is gonna do it. Get your GGs in the chat for Dataplet. And we'll get the official SR time for him as we finish off this daily race restream. And Dataplet is gonna finish second on the restream with an official SR time of 154.50, and that's good for 4th place overall. Just before that, we had Round Tank here in 3rd place of a time of 151.21, and possibly Kappa in 2nd place of a time of 148.06. Send help.
And GG to Dataplet. GG to all the runners in this.
GG's.
Yeah, pretty interesting settings. For a mystery seed that has a weight setting called friendly, Wallkick's pretty much said it right there. This was just not friendly at all.
For sure. But I'm gonna head out. Thanks again, guys. Again, thanks for the restream, all that good stuff. And shout outs to Speed Gaming, and I'll be around whenever there's another mystery seed or a cross key seed. Give me all the silly stuff.
Silly stuff is always good stuff.
Yeah.
That
Take care,
is.
everyone.
Take it easy.
GG. We'll see if we can get Dataplet in for an interview as well. A moment here.
And while we are waiting for that, I will give out I'll look into tomorrow pool schedule. None of those have channels just yet. But 2 p.m. and 2 p.m. we'll have our daily race, and also our 9 p.m. daily races as well. Okay, so you won't be joining us then. The interview, but get your GGs to chat as well. 2 p.m. we have some Portal 2 speedrun mod action. No SLA. At 4:10 we have a league match. 5:10 we have a league match. 8 p.m. and 9:30 we have some Area of Sorrow randomizer. 8 p.m. we have Pac-Man World 2 up on the booth. 8:10 we have SMC 3 1v1. 8:30 is a showing of the Final Fantasy Randomizer Iron Gold Championship. This will be a fun one. Dwight versus Melee Wizard. And then at 9 p.m. we also, to wrap things up, 9 p.m. The 2020 Kirby Nightmare Dreamlands 100% tournament, and one last league match to round out the rest of your day. If you want to check out all the Speed Gaming channels, definitely give all the Speed Gaming channels a nice follow. They are the ones that are given these dailies, Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as for our multilingual channels, English, Portuguese, Dutch, French, and Spanish. Follow the runners as well. Wallkicks and Dataplet put on an excellent show. Our tracker for the night was Captain MD13. Excellent performance from him. Definitely an unsung hero of any randomizer. Period. Without him, we would not be figuring out what the heck all these worldly items are and who has who. And I'm Professor Renderer, and my co-commentator Anti-Sim. It was nice to commentate with you, man.
Yeah, it was great commentating with you as well.
Alright. Until next time, may your RECs not be ridiculous like this mystery seed, and hopefully your mystery seeds go pretty well. Again, check out the Discord and DM /Robot for your chance to look at mystery seeds. And I'm off to draw stuff. Take it easy.
All of you have a great day, a great night, wherever you are in the world.